Thank you.
Okay, welcome back. So yeah, just to recap, school committee member Paula McFarland is here, and we're going to let her have a closing statement, and she's going to be speaking after Stephanie. And also, I just wanted to say that we haven't gotten to all the questions that were submitted, unfortunately, and I wanted to thank everyone for sending their questions along. What I'm going to do is compile all the questions we did not ask the candidates tonight. I'm going to send them to each candidate via email, and then sometime next week, their responses will be, I'll post them on Cranston Patch, and Meg has agreed to either post them on warwickonline.com or rhodeybeat.com, sorry, cranstononline.com, rhodeybeat.com, and maybe in the Herald next week. So, we are going to start with closing statements, Ward 1, and we'll just go in order from your right to left, my right, left to right. Stephen Bloom.
I'd like to thank you.
Sorry, it's 3 minutes.
I'd like to thank everybody for taking the time, coming out tonight, listening to us. My first 2 years have really been about accountability and transparency. I've spent my efforts to bring discipline and transparency to the budget process, to the financial reporting of the school district. The lack of transparent financial reporting has been underlying the acrimony between the city council, the administration, and the school district. And I felt that that was a main priority for addressing many of the fiscal problems that the district has. That tool, which was earlier mentioned, was a duplication of effort. Having spent 25 years in business preparing financial information for making decisions, it always takes more effort in order to put together good information. But that effort, if the information is presented well and leads to good decision making, is always a good investment. As a result of having that information, the school district was in a position to talk intelligently about the financial implications of the mayoral academy on the district. We were able to forecast how the loss of revenues from from students leaving the district was going to have a negative impact on the school district and its ability to repay debt. There were a number of proposals that were contained in that. We are currently having a discussion over what to do about deficits in special education. Well, 2 years ago, that would be finger pointing on the part of the city and the city council at the school district, because those would have solely been within our purview. Instead, as part of that proposal and as part of the recommendations that I made in presenting those to the school committee, I suggested a special fund be set up that was adopted in a different form, but in principle by the administration and the city council, to set up contingencies for it. These are unforecasted expenses. From 1 year to the next, the district, it's very difficult for the district to predict these types of expenses. So now the district can have an intelligent discussion with the city as a result of these types of recommendations in terms of transparency. Lastly, I want to remind people that I'm an independent voice on this school committee. I have not taken any contributions from political action committees, unlike my opponent, who has now taken contributions from the Rhode Island laborers, and I will continue to advocate for the students, the parents, and the taxpayers of Cranston.
Thank you. Jeff.
Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate you staying for this debate. Basically tonight, I think we've heard we've heard two stories here tonight. One is on finance, and the other is on education. I stand for education, and I think that we need a school committee member who can focus on the education. Basically, I've spent my career working in education with after-school programs, preschool programs, tutoring programs, and it's made an immense difference in my life. So I want to bring that experience to light for the school committee. And as far as taking the contributions, as my opponent just said, it's actually only been one contribution, and I've actually raised more money from individuals, from friends and family, and people in the ward who support me. So than that other contribution. I can tell you, I'm not beholden to anyone. I will make my decisions based on what's best for the student, not because of where the contributions come from. And finally, finally, I just want to end on I'm talking about an experience I had very early in my career, that basically set me on the path that I've been on. Years ago, I was tutoring as part of the White House initiatives I was working on. I was tutoring a student in a school in southeastern DC, and I worked with this student for a year. And the differences this student made were immense. His reading ability went up. His desire to read went up. It was just incredible. It opened up a world for me that I've now followed down. And so what I want to do is to take that experience with that one student and to help every Cranston student improve their academic performance and have a better chance on life. So thank you very much. Once again, my name is Jeff Gale. I'm running for school committee in Ward 1, and thank you for coming today.
Thank you. Moving on to Ward 2. Eliana.
So here we sit, less than 3 weeks away from an important decision. Our school system has some major problems, namely fiscal responsibility and excellence in education. Our Cranston Public Schools have been on intervention status for 7 years. According to the Rhode Island Department of Education data, we're hanging out with Providence, Central Falls, Woonsocket, Pawtucket, and West Warwick. Our teachers are quality teachers. Our principals are quality principals. Ladies and gentlemen, the system is not working. Our teachers don't have the resources to teach the way they want to teach. The principals are dictated to by the central administration. Every answer is, we don't have the money. We have a school committee that has run amok. Year after year of deficits and no accountability. School committee members are volunteers, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank them for their service. However, some members of the school committee do not have the skills to fix the problems we face. We need leadership. I can bring you that leadership. Together, we can fix the problems. I will hold the administration accountable, not only for fiscal decisions, but academic achievement as well. This is not the Cranston school system that I graduated from. We will get back to achievement and excellence. I thank you and ask you for your vote on number 6.
Stephanie.
I'm going to wrap up some points. I didn't necessarily prepare comments. You know, we keep getting compared to the awful school systems of Providence and Central Falls and West Warwick. Folks, the truth of the matter is that's what our demographic is. And if you leave out the truth of what your demographic is, then you're just lying to yourself to try to make yourself feel better. I keep continually saying to people, stop comparing apples and chickens. Yes, our taxes are in line with Barrington. Our taxes are in line with East Greenwich. We have seen 5 tax raises under this current administration. But I challenge any of you to take a look and see what percentage of that tax increase the school department has gotten versus what some of the other departments in the city have gotten. And it is much, much less. So I think that people need to understand the fact that the reason why we are not in line with Barrington and East Greenwich and North Kingstown is because we have a different population of students, and we need to deny that. I keep hearing about deficits over 5 years, and I'm trying to figure out where the math is coming from, because as far as I can tell, we have balanced all of our budgets since I have been on the school committee, save for $900,000 that the mayor just gave us back, and the unaudited deficit that we're talking about right now. When we talk about all of the 6 failing schools, that is old data. The InfoWorks is gone, DataWorks is now. The parameters by which we are working against are completely different. So people really should probably stop talking about old numbers and do some research and get the new numbers. If somebody is going to say that they've never talked to a special education parent who's happy, I think it's great. You've spoken to 2,000 special education parents. We have problems. We need to fix them. We will. But we are not failing. We need to find a balance between education and curriculum and budgeting. As far as the busing report, the resolution did not bind us to that report. We were not required to adhere to it or to do anything other than to read it and consider it in our negotiations with our bargaining units. And the contingency plans that Mr. Bloom spoke of, while some of them were his idea, one of them in particular, the Special Education Fund, which was defunded by the current administration by $450,000 this year, was actually put in place by the audit team. We keep hearing all this about who takes money from PACs and who doesn't. Well, we have candidates that are sitting here tonight that are being endorsed by a particular candidate in this city. When you drive by Garden City, you see it. That particular candidate gets lots of PAC money, and he has given some of his money, which was PAC money, to some of the same candidates that sit here tonight. So I think we need to stop getting away from where people's money came from and listen to what their message is, because that's what's important. Look at what the message is. Our school system can do better, but we're doing okay. And we have students that are going to some of the top schools in the country and who are thriving and doing well. So I will work hard to make the great system we have better, and I hope that you will pay attention to those candidates who are willing to do the same. Thank you very much for your time tonight.
Okay, next up, Paula.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks to the Patch, and thank you, Meg, to the Princeton Herald, Basics, the employees that came out tonight, both from the school system and the senior center to open the senior center. On behalf of Michael Trafficanti and myself, who are unopposed, it's very difficult to close and debate when you haven't had a chance to open or to debate with anyone else. So basically what I will do is I will talk about the opportunity that it's been an honor for me to represent Ward 3 for the last 14 years. 5 of those unopposed. I have not had an opponent since I served on the city council my last 2 years there and my last 3 terms, including this upcoming election. I've been honored to be here and to help with all of the things that I have worked on. One of them being to streamline the school budget. When I first came on to the city council 14 years ago, I had a difficult time understanding some of the budget in the school department, and we worked really hard to streamline that on the city council and work together to make sure that we improved our school system and we improved the opportunity to give money to our school system. Tonight I have actually my campaign manager who's been a school teacher here for, I don't know, how long, Holly Skripczak? I don't even know how long you've been. But you've been my campaign manager, you've been standing with me, supporting me on community issues as well as school issues, and I appreciate that. We worked on creating crime watch groups and just for mothers from stadium area and just concerned citizens of that neighborhood working very hard. We worked on creating community policing that's still in place in this city, and it's an honor to be able to do that. We created a police station. We created community gardens throughout the area. Technology, I actually just wrote a paper on technology and school-based children. It was interesting to hear you talk about it because their GPAs went up, their reading and their writing, but mathematics, they still struggled when it came to technology and internet and using it. So it was interesting to write that paper and for a class that I'm taking to improve my skill set as well. So, and being a mentor, it's really been an honor for me to mentor. I have a little boy that I mentor every single week at Gladstone School, and that has been a tremendous opportunity for me. I really thought about what I wanted to say tonight, and while I served on the city council, and it was an honor to do that, this was an opportunity to give back as an advocate for children, as I had done when my daughter Katie, who is also here tonight, was growing up in the city of Cranston, attending all our schools, attending Stadium School and Hugh B. Bain Middle School and Cranston East, and playing soccer and going out in the community and doing community events and cleaning up our neighborhoods. Those were the things that I had so much enjoyment, and I continue to have enjoyment. I know I only have 10 seconds left, and I have an array of things that I could talk about, but I think all of my colleagues on the school committee did a wonderful job here tonight. talking about some of their issues, but I also want you to think about that we have kind of gone around the issues. We continue to go around the issues, and one of the things I would like to implement would be a financial committee for the school committee so that we can work on an issue a half hour before our school committee or our work sessions begin, just to talk about the financial issues and to work with the city council so we have a group instead of having a one-person show kind of deal going on. I'd rather have a group of us who work together to make school system better because our teachers deserve it, our students deserve it, and I myself and you as taxpayers, we all deserve it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. I gave you a couple extra seconds there just because you have not had a chance to speak at all earlier.
Well, I have more. You want me to go on?
No, in the time.
That's okay.
I highly suggest you write a letter to the editor, to the Patch, and to the Herald. Thank you. Okay, moving on to Joseph in Ward 5, yes. Thank you.
I think it's pretty obvious that I'm not a policy wonk. My experience is in the financial arena. I have a bachelor's degree in finance. I'm employed as a bank examiner. And I think you need people like me on a school committee because a school committee is a group, and it's a group of people that have certain strengths. And we all have our strengths, and mine happens to be finance, and that's what I'm hoping to tell you today, is that I hope to be that voice, and I hope to be on the finance subcommittee. Another reality is all the great things that we talk about that we want to do at this table, none of them can be possible if we don't have the money. I know it stinks, and that's what it all comes down to, but we need to make sure that we balance our budgets so that the money is there so we can do the things that everybody wants to do. I have the support of Mayor Fung, and I hope to have yours as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Janice.
Well, thank you again for the opportunity to speak tonight. I think that when I look at issues and when I work on different things in the school committee and in my life as well, I try and look at the balance, and I try and look at all the options, and I ask all the questions, and then I make a decision. I hope that that's what people do when they're doing something as important as voting as well. I worked in the financial industry for 7 years. I've also worked in the education industry for 8 years. So I do have balance there. When I get an issue or when a question comes up or something comes down the pipe, I make sure that I'm informed. I did this before I was even on the school committee. As a PTA president, I felt it was important that I knew what was going on not only in my own school, but also within the city. So I began attending school committee meetings. I also became a voice at school committee meetings. I spoke whenever I felt I needed to. I asked questions whenever I felt I needed to. They recognized me at a certain point when I would get up. They would go, oh, you know, and say, oh, there's Mrs. Ruggieri again. Then I was asked to be on several subcommittees. That's how I became involved, and that's how I learned what my role was going to be. And one of the real reasons that I started to do this was for my own kids. My daughter was actually in the 6th grade, the year that they moved the 6th grade back to the elementary schools. And I sat through those meetings and hearings, and I heard people over and over and over again say, please don't do this. They had a subcommittee set up. The subcommittee came back and said, I don't think that you should do this. And the committee at the time made the decision to move the 6th grade back into the elementary school. Yes, money was saved, but I think there was a lot more lost. And Mr. Lombardi will always say that Mrs. Culhane and I both booed him because he was the vote that, was that vote, split. And I did boo him, but I looked at that and I said, I don't think that people were listening. And I feel that what I do is I listen first. I hope that you can appreciate what I've said to you tonight as far as what I'm looking to do in the future and what I've done in the past, and that will help you decide your vote for this November. Thank you.
Okay, last candidate. Jay. Last but not least, I should say.
Thank you. Our school district is broken. 2010, 2011 yearly progress report. Cranston was on its 4th year of intervention status. That's from Bride. 11th grade math kneecap results. Here we are highlighted. We're not in the top half, we're in the bottom half. Like Elena said, hanging out with Providence, Pawtucket. I graduated in Pawtucket. I know what the demographics are in Pawtucket. Cranston is not the demographics of Pawtucket. We're hanging out with them. On the other side, we have bright lights in some of our schools. Edward Rhodes School was number 11 on a long 2-page list of kneecap results 4th grade science. Well, you know what? We still have Gladstone School sitting at 22% efficiency on the 2nd page. We need to find out what's going on in Edward Rhodes and duplicate it throughout all the other schools in the district. Advanced placement exams at the high school. For the size of our school district, we don't have that many kids taking exams. Instead of this, we're going to bring you this. We need an administration that's accountable to the taxpayers. We need leadership that can adapt to any situation and not simply under budget, only to overspend and continue to blame everybody else. Thomas Paine was an English-born American political activist and a political theorist and revolutionary. History attributes to him a famous quote that many other leaders have used throughout history, and that quote is, "Lead, follow, or get out of the way." My opponent's been on the school committee for 8 years, and in leadership for 6 of them. She helped dig the hole that we're in because she doesn't know the way out. We can do better. I'm running to restore the public trust in the school committee. Perception is reality, and there has been too little communication, too little transparency, and too little accountability in the system for too long. The system has been broken. We have our first superintendent contract that actually calls for accountability, thanks to Committeeman Steve Bloom, and we have a new budget format, thanks to the insistence of Mr. Bloom. I'll be part of the new leaders that will make our school system one of the top school districts in Rhode Island. We will demand nothing short of excellence from our district. Our school will not be an inviting community. Our schools will be an inviting community that welcomes and embraces families, and all our children will achieve success. Henry Ford said, "If everyone's moving forward together, success takes care of itself." So I ask for your vote in Ward 6 to give the teachers the respect that they deserve and help get our school district back on track to one of the respected districts in the state. We will have a fresh start. Thank you.
Thank you. So that concludes the closing statements. I just want to take a moment to thank every candidate for taking time out of their busy schedules to be here tonight. I wanted to thank Basics for organizing this. They've done a great job. And I want to thank my colleague Mike Frazier for the Herald for keeping time and helping me out. And thanks for the audience participation and their questions. You know, in the news business, we cover elections a lot, and we you know, do our best to reflect what's going on in all the different races. But nights like these, I think, go a long way because it's a chance for the voters to talk to you guys directly. And as much as people like Meg and I try really hard to convey who you folks are and what you believe accurately and fairly, it's great to sit here tonight and watch you explain yourselves without us acting as any sort of filter. So it's great to be here tonight. Thanks again, everybody, and we look forward to an exciting election.
Right. I would love to hear what she had to say.